Hi there. My name is Dellamonica. I am a science fiction and fantasy writer from Toronto, Ontario. I have over 30 short stories in print, and my third novel, Child of a Hidden Sea, will be out June 24th. Like a lot of writers, I also teach writing online through a mostly textual format, which means I write about writing and my students read it, and then they go out and write something and I read that. It can be a very successful model. I've had some students do really well and write some wonderful things. But I'm interested in trying to put more of a face-to-face element back into the process. And so as a bit of an experiment, I'm making this video. I've asked one of my students if I could make free with one paragraph of her work to see if we could start a conversation about revision that maybe sets off some light bulbs for her and for anyone else who happens to see this, who's interested in making their prose a little more refined. So, having said that, I'm going to get behind the camera and zoom in on my screen while telling you what you're going to see. What's on the screen is two versions of a paragraph that falls at the end of a short scene where two well-off kids usher a couple of plumbers up to the master bedroom of their house to unblock the toilet. The scene ends on a bit of a joke. We find out that Mom has gotten stuck in the toilet trying to find her diamond ring. So the lower paragraph of the two was the earlier version, and you'll notice I've highlighted the word stuck because it occurs 3 times. Stuck is a really noticeable word. The K at the end just kind of grabs your attention. And it's also kind of the punchline of the joke. Mom's stuck in the toilet. So I had suggested to the student that she start by figuring out which stuck was most important and restricting herself to that. And so then she tweaked it again and she came up with the following paragraph. We reached the master bedroom where ma mère's legs, pantyhosed feet stuffed into green high heels, trailed out from the small toilet room. The assistant set down the metal box with a clunk and peered into the toilet. Ma mère's arm was up to her elbow in the bowels of the porcelain bowl, her hand searching around for something. That something was her 30-carat diamond ring. She had plunged her hand in to retrieve it, and now her arm was stuck. Okay. So, what would I do with this? Well, to illustrate that, what I'm going to do first is take that second paragraph and make a copy of it. And then I'm going to turn on track changes. And then I'm going to go nuts. So I really hope she likes how it goes here. But the important thing to remember is every choice I make here is probably the wrong choice. I'm really just pointing out things that could use a bit of reshaping, and it always falls to the author to decide if a change should be kept or not. So the first thing is that first version starts with "At last we arrived in the master bedroom," and I liked the sound of that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it "At last we reached the master bedroom." And then I feel as though we should see a little bit of the master bedroom. So taking a huge liberty, I'm going to add rounding the immaculately made bed to discover a pair of legs. My thinking here is that just as we don't want to repeat stuck, ma mère is kind of conspicuous, and it's a bit of a surprise. Whose legs are they? Let's keep that secret for just a little longer. Then we get this pantyhosed feet stuffed into green high heels, which is a great image. And I've changed this to trailing out from the entrance to the on-street. This is one of those areas where I may be very wrong, but toilet room just sounds a little odd to me. I snag on it. And when you're reading, you don't want to snag. You want to be kind of drawn along. Then I'm just going to put in a little break. We see the legs, we get a breath. The assistant set down the metal box with a clunk, and peered past the legs. My thinking here is mom's in the toilet, so he can't see into the toilet, even though what you really mean here is peered into the room. I'm just kind of reworking that. Okay, and then I get really invasive here. I've got ma mère had plunged her arm in just an hour before, fingers grasping, hand searching, so I'm keeping the verb here, reaching all the way to the elbow in pursuit of her 30-carat diamond ring. I wanted something a little more active so that it wasn't, ma mère's arm was up to her elbow in the porcelain bowl. And I wanted to make her active even though she's physically stuck. I wanted to give that sense of the movement when she was digging for her ring. The ring is kind of the punchline. So I also removed that searching around for something that something was, just to see if getting right to the ring might make it more punchy. Is that the right choice? Not necessarily. And then since she's stuck is basically the punchline, I do this. And now, ... And I put dialogue in. She's stuck. I told them. Are these the right choices? Not necessarily. It's a very different passage now, obviously. It sounds completely different. Of course, it sounds more as it would if I had written it. And that's not necessarily, it's never a good thing. But my hope is that by sort of pointing out each individual thing I changed and talking a little about why, we might get a sense of what sort of things slow down the prose in a passage. Because this is a great scene. It's a great joke. Finding a rich lady stuck in her toilet is awesome. And we want the passage to shine as much as it can. So what I would like to invite you all to do now is discuss which of my choices are flat out wrong. Which ones are interesting but misguided? What should I have left well enough alone? The whole thing? You tell me. Thank you for watching and have a great day.